sound of the city changed in a way because it was about hedonism and enjoyment before, and now it's only practical things. You go to your work, you try to get your food, and I don't know how to say that, but it's not punk rock anymore in that way. It was not really punk rock before, but it has a certain kind of freedom, and now everyone is kind of caged at home. Not really, because we can go outside, but we can't go to bars, we can't go to clubs. We stay at home because it's boring. You don't have something to do. Berlin is not about sitting outside. I feel like Berlin is about going somewhere and celebrate somewhere. You have those green parks and it's nice, but this is just for in between to come down from your party or from your job. And now the sound is serious, so it gets serious and a bit sad. I feel Berlin gets sad for me. I mean, Berlin is special with that because it really needs this club vibe, I guess. Because it's about the freedom and you don't have to stop the club at 2 o'clock in the night. It's going like 3 days. I don't do that, but I totally understand why people want that and enjoy that. I was a child when the wall came down, so I have my childish experience with that. But my mom was telling me like, yeah, we had this already. She's not living in Berlin, but she was living in East Germany, so and still lives in East Germany. So she was like, we already know that, but it's a different situation because the whole world is caged. So you don't have this, oh, when I get outside of the wall or the other side is there's freedom. So I think this is the world feels behind the wall, and that's a different feeling, I guess. I grew up in, so it was a big influence because my first experience of music was the synth sounds, and I had records that were made for children, and I was used to that sounds. And in the GDR, they already used some little synth noises on that. I don't know, it was weird, like meow, meow. And it was really, really lovely to hear that. And I loved this secret sounds. I did not understand what it was. So, and then my dad brought me like a tape once, and it was in the mid-80s. And there was pop music on that. And I switched from my children records to the tape and to Duran Duran and Cyndi Lauper and stuff like this. Those little mistakes in the sounds and those little mistakes in the voices that have been in that, I could experience those. The voices were not that clean. I don't know how to explain. It was a bit like broken, and the feeling was broken because especially GDR synth projects, they made music from a different way of or a different need of producing music because they were caged behind a wall, and it was a way of becoming free. When I was listening to the tape that my father gave me, I just experienced what is outside in the world, and I could hear those West, like, how do you say that, those music from far away, and the music, he also put music from GDR bands on it, and I could hear this both sides. So there was the world outside, and you could sense which band was from the GDR. Yeah, I think the bigger places or the big venues will probably survive, and the smaller ones probably not. So there's a situation that is weird because the bigger venues will not be able to get audience because it's too big, and maybe they have to wait longer till they can start with gigs. And smaller venues, if they survive, have more chance to get audiences now that can't go to the bigger places. And I think the music industry is anyways weird. So you have those artists that gain so much money out of what they do, and smaller ones don't have a chance. Maybe what can change now is that people and promoters and whatever, they focus on the smaller artists and the smaller clubs. And it becomes a bit more selective now and a bit more social in a way that we also have to think of how a musician can earn money. Is it only by playing live? or do we also get more out of the streaming stuff or whatever? I will do a live stream also in the next weeks, and I'm excited how it will be. I was recording a live video already, and I experienced the situation in an empty room with a guy in a camera walking around me, and I always was like, where is my audience? I need people to get into the song, and the people will maybe feel that they are missed, and you know what I mean, that the contact is not real. It's something I don't want to support, actually, because I'm not into digital stuff much. I think the real important things are the analog things, so the real things. And I'm afraid that everything is like, oh, this is okay, we can have it digital, this is easier actually, and whatever, but it's not the same. An album is like a showcase for loads of people, and they want to book you or maybe not. But I just hope that this will happen. And now it's a weird time, I can't play. So my biggest wish is not happening at the moment. But in the end, for me, it's lovely to have my music out there and loads of people listen to that. And Fat Cat is a label with a wider range, and they spread it out to the world, and that's really cool. And that's what I hope what happens now.